There's a reason your twin flame can trigger emotions in you like no one else ever has. It's not just about intense attraction or love. It's because their presence acts like a mirror, pulling to the surface the parts of yourself you've buried, hidden, or denied. This is the sacred yet often uncomfortable process called shadow work, and it's one of the most transformative stages of the twin flame journey. Shadow work forces you to face the fears, insecurities, and wounds that shape your deepest patterns. Before we dive in, make sure you stay until the very end, because what you'll discover here could completely shift the way you see your connection. And if you're ready to heal at the deepest level and step into the highest version of yourself, like this video and subscribe, because the path ahead is not easy, but it's worth it. Shadow work involves confronting the hidden aspects of yourself, not only the darkness and pain, but also the potential and power you've kept locked away. When your twin flame arrives in your life, their energy naturally reflects these hidden aspects back to you, like the clearest mirror you've ever stood before. This is why encounters with a twin flame can be both euphoric and painfully raw. You may see in their eyes parts of yourself you've ignored for years. Sometimes it's beautiful, seeing your strength, resilience, and capacity for love. Other times it's uncomfortable, because it also reveals your fears, your weaknesses, and the pieces you've tried to keep in the shadows. The truth is, this mirror doesn't lie, and that's what makes it so powerful. One of the first signs that you've entered the shadow work phase with your twin flame is the sheer intensity of your emotional responses. A casual comment from them can bring up deep anger or sadness. A small misunderstanding can trigger overwhelming fear of loss or abandonment. The emotions feel out of proportion to the present moment because they aren't just about the present. They are echoes of older wounds. Some of these wounds come from childhood experiences where you didn't feel safe, seen, or loved. Others come from past relationships or even past lifetimes where unresolved pain has followed your soul into the here and now. When your twin flame touches those wounds, the reaction is fierce, because your soul knows it's time to finally face them. In the heat of those moments, it's easy to project blame outward. You might think, "They're making me feel this way," or "They're the reason I'm hurting." But the truth is, your twin flame isn't creating the wound, they're uncovering it. Without their presence, you might have continued living unaware of the ways these hidden wounds influence your choices, behaviors, and beliefs. This is one of the hardest truths to accept in shadow work. Your twin flame isn't the problem, they're the catalyst. And while catalysts can be disruptive, they are also the forces that drive transformation. Patterns also begin to reveal themselves in shadow work. You might notice the same type of arguments happening again and again, often triggered by the same fears or insecurities. Perhaps you fear being left behind, so you cling too tightly, only to push them away. Or maybe you've built walls so high to protect yourself from hurt that you end up shutting out love entirely. These cycles are not punishments, they are invitation. The universe is saying, "Look here, this is where you're stuck, this is where you need to heal." And your twin flame's presence makes it impossible to ignore. Interestingly, the shadow isn't always about pain. Sometimes it's about hidden potential. You may have suppressed your creativity because you feared judgment. You may have silenced your voice because you feared rejection. Your twin flame can awaken these dormant parts of you, often by inspiring or challenging you to step into your truth. This is just as much a part of shadow work as confronting your fears, because reclaiming your light is equally as important as facing your darkness. The process of twin flame shadow work can be messy, and that's something people rarely talk about. There will be days when you feel exposed, raw, and emotionally drained. There will be moments when you want to run from the connection entirely because it feels too intense. But these moments are where the real work happens. It's not about avoiding discomfort. It's about allowing yourself to sit in it, breathe through it, and learn from it. Discomfort is a sign that old patterns are breaking down, and that's the first step toward transformation. One of the hardest but most important parts of shadow work is learning to take responsibility for your triggers. This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior from your twin flame, but it does mean asking yourself, why is this affecting me so deeply? What story am I telling myself about this? Often, the answer will point directly to an old wound that has nothing to do with them at all. When you start identifying the root cause of your pain, you reclaim the power to change it. Shadow work with your twin flame will often force you to confront fears around intimacy and vulnerability. They can see you in ways no one else can, and that level of exposure can be terrifying. But it's also liberating, because when you allow yourself to be fully seen, flaws, fears and all, you open the door to true, unconditional love. This is love without masks, without pretenses, without walls. You may also discover ways you've been giving your power away, sometimes without realizing it. Maybe you've been seeking their validation to feel worthy. Maybe you've been avoiding difficult conversations to keep the peace. Your twin flame will challenge these tendencies, sometimes in ways that feel uncomfortable, but always in ways that push you towards self-empowerment. Sometimes, shadow work requires separation. The intensity can become overwhelming, and distance can give both of you the space to process, integrate, and heal. Separation in the twin flame journey is not always a sign of failure. Often, it's a necessary part of growth. When you return to each other after doing the inner work, the connection is deeper, healthier, and more balanced. As you continue this process, you'll begin to notice a shift. The triggers that once sent you spiraling no longer have the same power over you. You start responding instead of reacting. You start seeing challenges as opportunities for understanding rather than as threats. This is how you know shadow work is doing its job. An important truth to remember is that shadow work in a twin flame connection is mutual. As you face your wounds, your twin flame is facing theirs. They may be at a different stage of awareness, but the connection works like a shared energetic circuit. When one of you heals, the other feels the shift. This process also develops compassion, both for yourself and for your twin flame. You begin to see the pain beneath their words or actions, just as they've seen yours. This doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it helps you approach conflict from a place of understanding rather than judgment. And compassion is one of the most powerful tools for deepening the twin flame bond. Shadow work is not a one-time milestone you check off. It's an ongoing journey. Even after major breakthroughs, new layers can emerge. Life will keep presenting you with opportunities to peel back those layers and see what's hiding beneath. Each time you do, you become stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your authentic self. When you truly commit to shadow work, you transform not only your relationship with your twin flame, but also your relationship with yourself. You stop running from your pain. You stop hiding from your truth. You stop settling for less than what you deserve. And that changes everything. Through this process, you begin to see that your twin flame wasn't sent into your life just to love you. They were sent to awaken you. And that awakening is rarely comfortable, but it is always worth it. Because once you've faced your shadows, no one and nothing can hold the same power over you again. If you're in the middle of shadow work right now, take a deep breath and know this. It's all part of the plan. The pain has purpose. The triggers are teachers. And every uncomfortable moment is shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. So if you felt your deepest wounds rise to the surface since meeting your twin flame, don't run from them, lean in. This is where the real magic happens. And if you're ready to walk through your shadows toward a love and a life more authentic than you've ever known, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to heal alongside you. Because the journey is hard, but it is the most beautiful kind of hard you will ever face.